Welcome back to Overtime Fantasy, where we go beyond the whistle to bring you home a fantasy championship. I'm Mike Kinder. I'm here with Dan Hudgens, Phil Corella, and Tyler Jeffries. And Dan's got a new haircut.
What's up, big haircut? Yeet!
I really do. Like, that's the second time in a row. I really do appreciate you guys being my hype man on that opening. It helps out a lot. It's not distracting at all.
I think it's just the way we have to rock and roll now. Let's get it done.
That energy just comes to my body, and I just want to I never did intros that well.
Oh, welcome back to
to way to throttle your opponent.
Tyler is here. He's over there being quiet. How you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic, man. I'm excited. Like, the draft is over, so no better time to start mock drafting than 1 week after the draft is over. So let's get it.
We waited way too long.
Way too long.
Yeah, a whole week. Oh man. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do the first 8 rounds of a mock draft. You know, we're only going to do 8 rounds because we're going to actually talk about these people a lot more than what we will in the future when we've talked about these guys 1,000 times. So in the future, it'll be like, all right, I'm picking this guy. All right, I'm picking that guy. All right, I'm picking that guy. This week, in the next couple weeks, we're actually going to dive into talking about these people a little bit more.
Yeah, and basically what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to dominate the early rounds of the draft. So we're going to continue to put these out for the next couple podcasts of dominating the first 8 rounds of the draft. So you're well prepared and you got all the advice you need, and you know, so that you're ready to win a championship.
Yeah, and then once we feel real comfortable with the first 8 rounds, we're going to do the last 8 rounds. You know, and we'll start diving into that a little bit deeper.
Yeah,
sounds good.
So, if you guys are ready, I'm going to tell them where we're at. I got lucky enough to get the number 2 spot.
I call collusion.
Collusion?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, you just stacked the deck for a mock draft? Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm calling bullcrap.
This is a mock draft.
I didn't spin the wheel. Tyler did.
Tyler, how much did he pay you?
Man, I just let the wheel decide.
Fate is all there is. You look up there at that trophy.
Fake. That's all it is.
Fake. Fake news, fake stories, fake trophy.
I hate you guys. All right, so I got the number 2 spot. Tyler, number 6. Dan, 7. Phil, all the way down at number 12.
I call this bullcrap.
You might as well practice there because that's where you always end up.
This is true, though. It is true. I draft right at number 12 every single year.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
I'm back there, too. I'm back there.
Yeah, Dan usually is, too.
Yeah, I think he drafted like 6 last year in our draft. Michael Thomas in the 3rd round.
Yeah, Phil.
Yeah.
But Phil wasn't there, so.
Too busy camping.
All right, so let's go ahead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the begin draft button, and we're going to get it popping.
Does that begin the draft?
That begins it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank God.
First off the board was Saquon Barkley. You guys know who I'm going here without a doubt. I'm definitely going Ezekiel Elliott. He's my number 1 running back. I like Ezekiel Elliott. You know, first overall. I'm at number 2. Saquon Barkley's off the board. I got to go Zeke.
And look at that. Right after that, McCaffrey, Odell, and DeAndre Hopkins. I can't believe Odell went before DeAndre Hopkins.
I can't believe Odell was the number 1. Wow, that's crazy.
At 4, too. At 4.
Yeah, that blows my mind. But with those 2 people drafting there, that leaves me with the next pick. I'm going Alvin Kamara here. He's the guy now. Mark Ingram's in Baltimore. You got Latavius Murray behind him, but it's his first year in that system. Alvin Kamara's going to be that power horse.
He is a stud.
Wasn't a team named the 1966 Kamara?
Chevy Kamara.
Yeah, that was clever. I liked it.
Oh man! All right, it's on me, and this is what I don't like because before the draft, I kind of had Gurley going after someone like Kamara, but they drafted Henderson in the 3rd round, right? And that's kind of a high, pick to spend on a running back. Considering Gurley was a pure monster last year, right?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
With that concern, I'm gonna go Melvin Gordon. The injury risk is there, but when he's healthy, I mean, he gets the touches and he's a goal line back. And how do you draft him? I don't know how.
You hit that little button that says draft right next to it.
Oh, okay. All right, there you go.
Hey, good job. High five.
High fives. Ooh, that was solid.
That was a good high five.
That was my. I can't wait to hear that during the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, so number 12 here, my spot.
Oh,
Well,
I know who you're taking.
Hold on, we had Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas, Juju, and Joe Mixon.
And
come off
you
the
guys,
I'm
you
kinda
guys were
surprised
low
at
on
So
Juju.
Phil, like anybody in this position, like you have to be like just salivating with Todd Gurley.
Salivating? Salivating?
Is that the proper?
Are you serious?
Is that the proper lingo?
I don't know, but
You
Drooling,
have to be you have to be like excited here. With
if I can get
Gurley
Todd
still on the
Gurley
board.
at 12, are you kidding me? Like
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Like at that point, I would just draft him in the second round just to say I got Todd Gurley in the second round.
Or I could go Mike Evans and Julio Jones. I could try that, or I can go Antonio Brown. This is kind of cray.
Would you pass on Todd Gurley at
No.
the number 12 spot?
I'm not going to pass 12. I'm not. Gonna
Okay,
pass.
I was going to.
I'm just saying of all the options I have, there's so many opportunities.
Like at the number 12 spot, you got just like a gift from God right there.
God
like-
blessed me with that pick.
Like-
I'll tell you that right now.
You take Todd Gurley and you take like who you think might be the number one receiver. Oh, you got DeAndre Hopkins. He's already off the board.
Yep.
But
So
for
I took
me-
Julio. Easy.
For me, if I'm at that number 12 spot, I take Julio and I take Todd
Todd
Gurley.
Gurley, which is what I did.
Is a dream, man, at the number 12 spot, if you ask me.
It is kind of, I'm kind of shocked how quick Juju is going off the board, and I mean, honestly, I didn't think that Joe Mixon would be off the board in the first round. For some reason, I just didn't think that he would.
Not with that many receivers.
Right.
Like a lot of receivers went in the first round.
Yeah, a lot of them.
So Phil, you took Todd Gurley, Julio Jones. How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty good. I'd like to be. See, I'm used to in the 12 spot not having that. It's always like a running back, like someone who has like crazy question marks. Like, I don't know how good he's going to be this year.
Like Dalvin Cook.
Like, right? Okay, perfect example. Like a Dalvin Cook, and I have like multiple receivers to pick from. But I was actually expecting Devontae Adams and Mike Evans to be the only receivers available, and I thought all the running backs would be gone by now. So to see Todd Gurley in the 12th pick of the first round, you got to take the risk, regardless of what's going on with his situation, regardless of what's happening with his knee. You definitely go for it.
Yeah,
I agree.
That far back, because he's still got the potential, if he comes out and plays and he is that main guy, he's got the potential to be the number one overall still.
Yeah, I mean it's
So-
we've seen it last year, so it's on me.
Phil took Todd Gurley, Julio Jones. Immediately after that went Nick Chubb, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, and Antonio Brown, and it's on Dan.
Yeah, so this is easy. I'm gonna go running back. I'm going running back for sure. I mean, I could go Kelsey, but I know last year I took Gronk kind of early, kind of almost at this point of the draft, and it burned me. Kelsey is going to be productive, but you got 4 stud running backs left. And out of the 4 of Cook, David Johnson, Connor, and Bell, I like Connor the best, so I'm going to go James Conner.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I was expecting, to be like you pick Cook or Johnson, and it's going to be I'm going to pick the next one available.
Right.
Because I really love, Dalvin Cook and David Johnson this year.
Yeah, look. I know the Steelers, they drafted Snell, but I'm not worried because Connor was super productive when he was a starter, and Pittsburgh is the type of team that will feed a running back. Like they will feed him for 3 downs. So
Yeah.
So here, I love Dalvin Cook this year. I think he's going to have a great year. He's going to blow up. I don't think he's going to get injured, and that's always a question with Dalvin Cook, the injury bug on him. David Johnson's got that new coach. He's got the new quarterback. They're going to utilize him in the system more. So with that, I just got to look at pure talent, and I think David Johnson's a better running back, so I'm going to take David Johnson here.
Yeah, I like that pick. I like looking at it. I know he wasn't going to fall back to me just because the people in between us took receivers, so I figured they're going to take running back this round. So I was like, man, David Johnson's on there. I really like these running backs, but it's on to me. So after Tyler went, it went basically all running backs. No, not all. Le'Veon Bell, Dalvin Cook, and Keenan Allen. So it's on me. I have to look at, first thing I'm going to do in this spot is I'm going to look at the running backs, see what's there. If I'm not 100% happy with it, I'm going to look at the wide receivers, and I'm going to pick, who I think is going to be the best wide receiver. So I'm looking at the running backs, and I got Sony Michel, Aaron Jones, Darius Geis, Kerryon Johnson, Leonard Fournette, Phillip Lindsay, Marlon Mack, Derrick Henry. There's a bunch I like there. With receiver, Stephon Diggs, AJ Green, Galladay, Cooks, T.Y. Hilton, Adam Thielen. I think I'm going to draft Adam Thielen at this spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember last year you had the 2, and me and you talked about, like, if Gronk fell to you, you'd take Gronk.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I saw you have Kelsey there, and you have Kittle, and you didn't even mention them.
Yeah.
You're right. I like the strategy I took last year. Last year I went running back, then receiver.
But you know what? I mean, Kittle fell back to you in the 3rd.
It's amazing that he can remember
Kittle's
I'm sorry, Kelsey.
Kelsey
did, yeah.
See, now you're gonna make me put some extra thought into this, and I don't want to go there.
It's kind of wild to me that you remember exactly who you picked. Well, not like exactly who you picked, but what position you picked. Probably for every single draft that you've been involved in.
Because it's always usually running back, receiver.
Yeah.
You know what? I like what you said here. I really like because now I have a running back that can finish number 1 overall. I have a wide receiver that can finish in the top 3, top 5. I'm going to go Travis Kelce.
Yeah, 3rd round.
You talked me into it. Travis Kelce in the 3rd round. Now I'm looking at a possible. I'm looking at a possible running back that can finish number 1, wide receiver that can finish in the top 3, and a tight end that can easily finish number 1. And Travis Kelce is that difference maker for a team because he, he's going to score 10 points a game easy. He can score 10 points a game easy.
Yeah.
And he can also score 20 points a game. And he's going to be that one guy that wins you games,
single-handedly.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is off the board.
Ew.
3rd round.
So before you pick, how do y'all feel about Mahomes and really any quarterback in the 3rd? Right now Mahomes, he's not even being considered for me until
and at that pick,
5th round.
And at that pick, this person has 2 question marks now. He has Le'Veon Bell and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So he just took 2 gambles in the first 3 rounds.
But those are high risk, but also high reward.
Yeah. Right.
Because he also has Hopkins, Bell, who's finished as a number 1. Hopkins has finished as a number 1, and Mahomes has finished as a number 1.
Right.
That is extreme high risk, high reward. It's an approach that I don't normally take, but it is an approach that can pay off.
Absolutely, it definitely can. And in my opinion, Patrick Mahomes or any quarterback in the 3rd round is not worth going for.
Yeah.
But like we talked about before, in these early rounds, it's all about what you want as your preference. Like, okay, well, maybe quarterbacks will start getting taken off the board. I want this quarterback right now because I don't think he'll get back to me in the 4th. So I went and got Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's what this computer was thinking.
Yeah. So, the pick got back to me, and I was hoping that AJ Green or Brandon Cooks would fall back to me after going running back. But looking at the wide receivers...
Looks like your boy T.Y. still there, dude.
Looking at the wide receivers, you got Kenny Galladay, T.Y. Hilton, DJ Moore, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Calvin Ridley. I actually don't like any of these guys in the 3rd round. So even though I went running back, I'm looking at guys like Sony Michel, Phillip Lindsay, Leonard Fournette, and I'm going to go Sony Michel here. I mean, that's the guy that has the best upside with that pick. And, with having 3 solid running backs, you could look at trading for a guy that's a number 1 receiver and flipping it for a guy that's a lower-end running back with a higher-end receiver.
Yeah. Your approach on the draft and my approach are two different things. Like, you approach a draft thinking, oh, well, I could trade this guy. I could do that. I approach the draft with like, I want to end my season with these exact people. Yes, it's completely impossible.
Oh my god,
it's completely impossible. But that's how I approach my draft. I'm like, I don't want to trade anybody on my team. Until it comes down to it, you have to make a trade at certain points. But I don't approach a draft looking to, well, I'll get this guy because I'll be able to trade.
Well, I don't do that in the first 3 rounds. I mean, if I'm my first 3 picks are guys I want on my team at the end of the year. Yeah, that's what I want.
Absolutely.
My first 2 are guys that I really like and really want on my team. My third one, if the guy's not there for receiver, I usually go running back. And if a good receiver's not there, I'm going to take the best, running back there because there's guys that have gone receiver, and they're going to need a running back. So that's where I look at it in the draft.
All right, Dan, you're on the clock.
All right, so I got 2 workhorses, and I want to have the balance with the receiver. They got Kenny Galladay ranked pretty high. I'm not high on Galladay as much as this app is. T.Y. Hilton's up there. I'm looking at. I really don't like the receivers in these rounds right now. I'm looking at either Zach Ertz or Leonard Fournette. I'm not really a big fan of starting with 3 running backs, but I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Fournette because
he didn't snake you enough last year. Huh?
Yeah. I think if he snakes me this year in the 3rd, I won't feel as bad. But look, they drafted the tackle Jawan Taylor, right? 2nd round. I mean, they upgraded that line.
They did, and
their line last year was decimated, and they feed Leonard Fournette. He had that stretch of 2 or 3 weeks where he was a straight monster. And, look, 3rd round, I think that's a good value for him.
They actually have somebody that can actually throw the ball this year.
Yes, exactly. Someone who can threaten to throw the ball downfield. Yeah. So, and like I said, I'm not a big fan of doing 3 running backs, but if it's a flex, let's try it out and see what happens.
Yeah, but also thinking about that, like I was saying, guys that have gone wide receiver, the next 2 out of the next 3 picks, the guys that have gone receiver have also gone receiver again. So the running back core is going to be very slim for them, and they're going to be looking to trade some kind of guy. That's where you could pick up like a guy that has Mike Evans or a guy that's a little bit questionable about Antonio Brown and give him Sony Michel and a lower end receiver that you pick up later.
So it's on Phil. So Galladay went right after with Aaron Jones, Robert Woods, Baker Mayfield, guys. Baker Mayfield, the second quarterback off the board in the 3rd round.
That's bonkers.
I don't see that happening in a real draft. Unless you're a diehard Cleveland Brown fan.
Well, yeah, I'm a diehard Cleveland Brown fan. I'm not taking Baker Mayfield in the 3rd round.
Yeah, you have to be a fanatic.
Yeah, right.
The guys that take these quarterbacks, they look at guys like their offense surrounding the quarterback, and we have been talking about Baker Mayfield has literally a fantasy draft around him.
Yeah,
so if you're going to take a guy like Aaron Rodgers, he's Aaron Rodgers. He's got Devontae Adams, got Jimmy Graham, but then you got Baker Mayfield who has Odell, Jarvis, Antonio Callaway, David Njoku, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, Duke Johnson. I mean that's a killer lineup right there.
Phil, what are you thinking?
All right, so right now, all right, so basically I have to make picks right now at the 12th spot. I have to make 2 back-to-back picks that I do not think will make it back to me next round. So,
who you think?
Right now, to me, the best value at wide receivers is T.Y. Hilton. So I'm taking T.Y. off the board as my number 2 wide receiver.
I like it.
And then I'm going to take a risk right now, guys, and because I don't think he'll make it back to me. And this is a guy that I like, and if he can be healthy next year, then this is going to be great for me. So Devontae Freeman from Atlanta, I'm taking him as my next running back.
That's
nice.
That was my pick, man. Like that was going to be my next running back. I was waiting for that to happen. He was a little bit further down. I don't know if he would have made it to even me.
Right.
He definitely wasn't going to make it back to you.
There was just too many question marks at the top of this rankings for running backs. I mean, Darius Geis, Philip Lindsay. Like I really like Philip Lindsay this year, but am I willing to take him as my next running back? I didn't see that. And Kerryon Johnson, with C.J. Anderson being there in Detroit and LeGarrette Blount, the backfield looks really crowded right now. Yeah. And I know Devontae Freeman is coming back with a vengeance, and he's going to be involved a lot. The best offensive line, I like it. So, all right, on to Dan. You're on the clock.
Zach Ertz made it back to me. I have to pretty much say that my receivers are not going to be good. They're going to be weak.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have 3 workhorse running backs and potentially one of the best tight ends in the league.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, after Phil picked, went 3 more running backs. So
yeah.
Kerryon Johnson is gone. Phillip Lindsay and Darius Geis all went. So that's just something to keep in mind that excuse me. After Phil picked, it was just like he started a trend of, hey, we need to grab running backs right now.
Running backs.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at I got to go receiver here. I have 3 running backs.
You don't have to.
I mean, I have to. The only way I wouldn't have gone receiver is if Phillip Lindsay had made it back to me, and I would have probably taken Phillip Lindsay there. So I'm looking at these guys, and guys that intrigue me are DJ Moore, because Devin Funchess isn't there anymore, and he's the number 1 guy now. Chris Godwin, but I like him more as a number 2, maybe a flex. I don't like him as my number 1. And Allen Robinson and Sammy Watkins. So between those 4, I think I'm going to go DJ Moore just for the upside, because he is the number 1 there in Carolina. And that's what I have to deal with, going 3 running backs.
But DJ Moore isn't a bad pick. I mean, especially when he's going to be the number 1 option in Carolina.
Yeah.
So I like that, actually. I think he's going to be a really good wide receiver this year. But it is kind of a weak first option. But, I mean,
mine's going to be super weak.
But depending on matchups throughout the year, I mean, he could be a matchup nightmare for some defenses that are weak. Like in Tampa with their secondary. They play them twice a year. He could put up monster points against them. It depends on.
He's more of a solid wide receiver, like your second wide receiver.
But what I'm saying is, for these receivers that are going to be coming off the board now, it's based off of their number 1 picks, but their number 1 picks with like a bad supporting cast is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So DJ Moore, though, I think he's gonna open up a whole bunch of eyes this year, though.
Yeah,
I like that pick.
The only thing
I was hoping he made it back to me.
The only thing that's questionable with picking DJ Moore right there is how's Cam Newton's shoulder.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that scares me with him being my number 1 receiver off the board.
And that's the thing. Like, when you draft 3 running backs, you're going to be left with guys like DJ Moore as your number 1, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So.
Yeah.
But like you said, you have trade bait there. If you need a wide receiver, you have 3 running backs that I'm sure somebody would like to have.
All right.
So after DJ Moore's Chris Godwin, my boy, in the 4th. Wow. If he's going in the 4th, I don't know if I could get him in any draft, man. That's a little too steep. Then you got Marlon Mack and Derrick Henry. So, what are you thinking?
So, I just looking at the running backs, just right off the top, you got Josh Jacobs, Tariq Cohen, Rashad Penny, Williams.
Ooh, I know who you're thinking.
You don't know who I'm thinking.
I do.
Who do you think I'm thinking?
Your new man crush. That's who you're thinking.
My new man crush?
Yes.
Yep, your new man crush.
Your old man crush, Isaiah Crowell, with the tore Achilles.
Now you're going to go Josh Jacobs, Jacob Iverson.
That's exactly who I went. I love that offensive line. That offensive line is massive. And they did the right things in the offseason. I love that offensive line. I like the way this guy runs, man. I mean, they did sign Doug Martin, which is somebody I'm going to be eyeing at the back half of the draft. Like somebody super late, just in case. You never know. So that is somebody I'm going to eyeball, but I don't think Doug Martin is all that great. It's going to take too much away from Josh Jacobs. I'm really hoping that guy can handle the load. I'm hoping that he's going to be a really good contributor to fantasy football this year.
So I got a question for you, Kender. With the guy going Corey Davis and then Andrew Luck, you sitting here in the 5th round, are you even considering taking Aaron Rodgers here?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know if I am going to take what I'm going to do at this point, because I have 2 running backs, I have 1 wide receiver, and I have my tight end. Tight end's out the window for the rest of the draft for me. Running back, I feel kind of solid on. There's a couple more that I'm looking at that I really like. Like I really like Tevin Coleman. I know he's not going to make it back to me.
No,
I really like. Yeah, I really like Mark Ingram, and I know he's not going to make it back to me.
No,
Chris Carson's going to get taken up by Phil.
Yep,
if it gets to him.
Like I don't really like too.
I like the Casson.
Too many more late running backs, but I got two that I'm okay with, and there are a few down further that I'm okay with as well. I like Miles Sanders. I like some of them later running backs.
So quit dragging this out. And who are you going to pick?
I'm going back and forth between Jarvis Landry and Aaron Rodgers right now.
Wow. Well, you went Aaron. We went Sammy Watkins.
No, we're going to go back to that. We're going to go back.
Sammy Watkins was his pick, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on. We're going back. We're going back. You guys are jerks.
Let's do the crazy happy ending.
All right. So
you suck.
I'm back on the clock.
Take Sammy Watkins.
Wow.
I did not take Sammy Watkins.
Way to go, McGrew.
Isn't this collusion?
Yes, it's definitely collusion. I think I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers at this point because it's kind of following my...
Or do you know that the next guy is going to take him?
No, I knew Aaron Rodgers wasn't making it back to me in the 6th. I'm not one to really take a quarterback super early.
Right, yeah.
But
I mean,
because I just told you guys right
in the
before
fifth
this
round,
that Aaron
though.
Rodgers is now my number one quarterback.
In the 5th round, too, that's not a bad price for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of like that pick there, Chief.
Yeah, I really like that pick because when you said Jarvis Landry, I kind of was shaking my boots a little bit because that's the guy I wanted right here.
Yeah.
And that's the guy I'm going to take. I mean, he's going to have the most, he's going to have the least amount of coverage on him that he's ever had in his career with Odell being there now.
Yeah.
He's not going to be having to be double teamed anymore. It's going to open the, routes up for him even more. I really like Jarvis Landry this year.
Oh, man, it is... God, I just don't like what I see here. I really don't.
There's so many choices, man. Yeah.
You have to go wide receiver right here.
He doesn't have to. You keep playing it risky, man.
Are you looking at guys like...
I say you just go, yeah.
So I got 2 wide receivers in the 15th and 16th.
I found a guy that's a running back / wide receiver, so I picked him.
I might mess around and have Cole Beasley as my number one.
Oh, my
So are you looking at guys like Allen Robinson, Sammy Watkins, Alshon Jeffrey?
No, the wide receiver I kind of like is Mike Williams. I like Mike Williams a little more than
I knew you were going to
the
say
other
that.
two. But, guys...
Phil, you can't have all the running backs and
Hey,
all
look,
the
I'm in
receivers.
12th, okay? I can have what I want.
I'm
I make the
literally
money. I'm in the races.
I'm about to ruin my draft right now because my boy Damian Williams
Oh,
is
my
down there.
Bro, I promise you.
I gotta go
promise
him,
you
man.
You would have been there on the flop.
Yeah. You know what? Look, the Chiefs did not draft a running back in the draft.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they got Phil's boy.
I like him.
What's
He's a
his
good
name?
dude.
Oh no! What's his name?
Not important at the moment.
It was a super late pick though, and I don't think he'll threaten Damian Williams. And like I said, man, the running back podcast, he was borderline top 10 for me. So, I mean, getting someone in the 5th round.
Williams.
I'd rather get someone like him who has that upside than pick someone like Allen Robinson or Mike Williams who can have that upside, who can flash. If Damian Williams gets that bulk of the carries...
You're not afraid of Carlos Hyde?
Carlos?
Look,
Not at the table, Carlos.
we have to see how the preseason plays out. Right now, no.
Yeah.
But, obviously if Hyde runs with the first team, then Williams is going to be off my radar completely.
I was trying to figure out where all these receivers are going, and it's going to pick number 10. He has 5 receivers in 5 rounds.
Holy...
That's a bold.
All right.
That's
Well,
a bold
it's
strategy.
a bold move, Cotton.
Well, no, that is the actual way that you do the no RB strategy is you just pick receivers for the first 4 to 5 rounds,
Yeah.
and then you rely on getting those late round flyers like a Phillip Lindsay and who else last year come out of the back half of the draft that was amazing.
A couple years ago, you could have done the no RB strategy and ended up with Kareem Hunt and Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
So it can work out, and you could just dominate, or you could pay the price.
Have egg on your face.
All right, so here we all know how I feel about this quarterback. I think he's going to have a great year, so I'm going to pick up Mr. Goff. And then I'm going to pick up Mark Ingram.
I don't like it.
I like the zone read in Baltimore with the Ravens.
Where
And I like the Ingram.
Your boy Chris Carson was still on the board.
Oh, I know he's still on the board.
No, he was.
Nah,
not
he
anymore. I'm glad he's not because, oh my God, look at these
Wait,
receivers.
are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, I'm surprised that you.
Whoa. I
'Cause
thought Breeze was gone.
Yeah, like I was like, hold on a second. Why wouldn't you go Breeze?
Yeah, because I didn't see him on there.
Yeah, he's way down there on this list. Like on this list, and if you're gonna play,
Son of fuck! Can we go back?
no.
Only the
The
commissioner
only reason I
can go
picked
back.
the quarterback was because I thought he was gone. I had it set in my mind that I was going to pick up. Son. Okay, well, I guess I'll get him next round.
Nope.
All right, so
Wow.
Kareem Hunt went like that.
Can we use our rankings next draft?
Yeah, that's just awful.
Here's
He's not even worthy of a top 10.
yeah. The only
Pick.
way that I would take Kareem Hunt is if I was in a position like you or Tyler. I got these monsters. Like I got, I'm heavy on running back already. Like I can wait 8 weeks until I play a guy. Like that's the only way I'm doing that. Like I'm not taking him as my number 3. I just can't do that. I need my number 3 to be somebody that I can sub in if needed. in the
Someone
first
who
8
you
weeks.
could start confidently. Well, not confidently, but someone you could start comfortably.
I really think we should go back and let Phil pick up Drew Brees.
No, it's not even that. I thought he was gone because I was going to pick up. I was like, okay, great. All right, now Drew Brees is gone. I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pick up Tevin Coleman and Mark Ingram. I was going to go running back, but then I was like, okay, well, wait, Goff's still there. Let me get Goff now because obviously everybody's taking all the quarterbacks.
All right,
So this is an important lesson for everybody out there. Pay attention to your draft. Know who's there, know who's not. And I say it jokingly just to mess with Phil, but I'm serious about that. Make sure you're paying attention to your draft because you want to know who's there and who's not because you don't want to run into a situation like that. That can really and at this point that messes up your mindset of man, so your next pick could be messed up and your pick after that could be messed up. Know who's on the board. Know who's still available.
Well,
Don't pick up
this
J.J.
messed
Nelson.
up my whole draft.
Don't pick up J.J. Nelson in the first round.
Dude, who would do that? What an idiot.
This messes up my entire draft.
Oh, gotta let Dan
Yeah,
pick.
it
He's
does.
about to run out.
All right, Dan, go ahead.
All right, I gotta go. No more running backs. Like 4, I can only play 3. So
Okay, so real fast, are you touching a running back the rest of the draft at all?
Absolutely not until double-digit rounds at least.
Well, yeah, it definitely had to be. I'm talking are you even looking at a running back? You got 4 really good running backs.
Yeah,
maybe 16th round.
Yeah, it would be potential handcuff. That would be it,
Okay.
pretty much. So right now I'm looking at receiver, and the one that sticks out is Tyler Boyd. So that's who I'm gonna go with. I see Sutton up there. I'm not a fan of Flacco. Tyler Boyd has been productive with Dalton as a quarterback, and with him,
that was without AJ Green.
and it was for a portion of the year.
Yeah.
It was, but even with AJ Green being there, he was a solid receiver. He's not going to win you weeks single-handedly like some of these dominant receivers are, but I think he'll be productive.
So this guy fell back down to me, and even though I have 2 very, very weak wide receivers, I've got to go Tevin Coleman here. Really solidify that running back core.
Wow, and Tyreek Hill went right after it.
I was thinking about going Tyreek Hill there, just because, we don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to dive into that really deeply, but...
Man, I was really banking on Tevin Coleman to fall back to me. I love Tevin Coleman this year, man.
I do too, man. I've been reading, and there's some analysts that say that Breida is still going to be the starter, and I don't see it, man. I think Coleman is going to be.
Beast.
I think he's going to get majority of the carry. There might be a split, but I see Coleman getting at least 50% of the touches. That's just my.
Let's put it this
thinking.
way: how many times did Breida make it out of a game not injured?
That's
Every single week last year, we're like, all right, well, Breida's a start, but how long will he play?
Yeah.
Because every single game, he didn't make it through a game in 6 weeks straight. It was, okay, he hurt his ankle. He was balling out in the first quarter, and the rest of the quarters he was gone.
See, in that situation right there, I already have 3 solid running backs. Picking up Tevin Coleman, even though if he's not the starter, it's not going to...
He's getting some burn.
Oh, he's going to get the burn, but it's not going to hurt me as bad as if he was my number 3 or my number 2, and it's still a question in the air.
All right, Kinder, you're on the clock. It's kind of, it's almost closing time.
See,
who are you going to pick?
He can actually go a number of ways because he pretty much has, he has 2 running backs. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2 running backs. You got your receiver, you got your tight end, you got your quarterback. So obviously not going quarterback. You're not going tight end.
I think he's going to go wide receiver here.
Well,
if I have to guess, Cotton, I think he's going wide receiver.
know.
Not going wide receivers because I look at the guy at the number 1 spot. He's got 2 wide receivers and 1 running back. There's really only 1 running back that I like out there right now,
and that's
Miles Sanders. Behind that Philadelphia Eagle offensive line, I love Miles Sanders. He's a little shifty, small, he's a good running back, man. I love Miles Sanders. I think that he's going to have a decent year this year. As my number 3 running back, I like him there. I'm not the happiest that he's my number 3, but I do like him. So I'm a little happy he's my number 3.
Yeah. So Sutton and Royce Freeman went back to back, and it's back to you. What are you looking at now? You got a couple receivers to choose from, a couple injury-prone receivers to choose from, actually.
Yeah.
You could be the first one to pick a defense.
I'm not a defense in the first 14 rounds.
Come on, man! Shock the world!
Shock the world!
Shock the world! Our listeners,
man, this
mock
one's tough.
the world.
There's a bro. And I'm looking at teams,
so bro heavy right now.
because I do need wide receivers. I'm looking at teams that might be picking up a wide receiver. It looks like maybe 4 teams might pick up a wide receiver in the next 2 rounds. So I'm thinking maybe 6 wide receivers go off the board before it comes back to me. I count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 just off the top. I like a couple of those people that might fall to me, but I still need a wide receiver bad. So I'm gonna go. Will Fuller. This is just that deep threat with Deshaun Watson. They got a good connection there. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He's my number 2, but these next couple rounds I'm really going to be targeting wide receiver.
Man, Dante Pettis, I was targeting him. I thought he'd make it back to me. He didn't. But to your point with Will Fuller, I mean, when he plays, this dude blows up, pretty much on a consistent, week. So he just gets hurt so much. But, I mean, look, we're in the 7th round. If he stays healthy a full 16 games, you're looking at a solid wide receiver, too. A solid.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there. Tyler, what are you thinking, man?
I need to go wide receiver here. And I really liked Tyler Lockett till the news about Doug Baldwin came out. And that's going to slide Tyler Lockett into the number 1 receiver. And he's going to see coverage that he hasn't seen before. And it kind of
Tyler Lockett played in the number 1 a lot last year.
Doug Baldwin
was out for a while.
Doug Baldwin was out a lot last season.
Yeah,
that's true.
And Dan knows that because that's another person that was on his team.
I picked him up last year in the draft, and I had no choice but to start him. And this guy, all he did was catch a touchdown every single week.
Yeah,
Tyler Lockett, it was without Doug Baldwin.
He's pretty good in the number 1, and they just got DK Metcalf, so he's got someone there to take that pressure off of him as well.
It is.
Here, it's really between Alshon Jeffrey, Tyler Lockett, and I really like a guy like N'Keal Harry.
What about your boy Eric Ebron?
Nah, I'm not looking at tight end right now. I have 2 receivers, 4 running backs. I need another receiver.
What about Ebro?
So I'm going to go ahead. Alshon Jeffrey's always hurt. I'm going to go Tyler Lockett just because of the injury with Alshon Jeffrey every year. But N'Keal Harry really, really intrigues me because he's the kind of guy that could finish with the most touchdowns in New England.
And that's why I was counting to figure out how many wide receivers were going to go off, because he was the number 6 wide receiver, and I said 6 were going to go, but that could go all the way up to 8 easily, and I was like, man, he's going to be gone. I have to go wide receiver here, because he was the next wide receiver that I was okay with, because he is in New England, man, and I know he's not. I know he wasn't the best wide receiver to come out of this class, but he went to New England.
Yeah,
like there's got to be something there.
He's a big body receiver.
Yeah,
and with Gronk not being there, the next big body guy now is going to be N'Keal Harry. Other than ASJ.
Oh,
yes.
whoops!
Hey,
no, I did not want to do that.
Oh,
I was trying to scroll through some of these receivers. I picked
that's
James
what
Washington. I would never pick him. I won't even target this guy.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I don't really know what you were thinking on
If
that
this was
pick.
the 16th round, I'd be like, can you go back and...
Yeah, can we please? I didn't mean to do that at all.
Yeah, so... I'm going receiver, and it's ugly. It really is. And one of these guys is going to be my number 2, but I have
Tyler
to...
Boyd is your number 1.
It's bad. It's bad. It really is.
All right, so who are you going to go?
Man... I have to go. Alshon Jeffrey. It's not someone I really want to target, but with what's out there, I think he's the best out there.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's
Cam
saying
Newton.
how bad it is. Yeah, and you know what? I was looking at the quarterback, Cam Newton, with his injury history in the 7th round. I can't do that either.
You know what? It kind of surprised me right now that we were just talking about the Patriots. We were just talking about all these targets that Tom Brady has.
You're still stuck on that Drew
I'm
Brees
still on
pick, huh?
Breeze, man.
I can't wait till he falls back to me so I can pick him.
Like, I'm gonna trade you everything I got. But we forgot about one wide receiver in New England, and that's Julian Edelman. All right, Tom Brady's number 1 target every single year that he's been a wide receiver. So, for my number 3 wide receiver, I'm going Edelman.
You're going the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
That's a good pick, man. Like Edelman, he puts up points. That's what he does, man.
What are you going to go for your last pick?
My last pick, basically right now, I'm not going to go tight end. I'm going to wait for that because I got my eye on somebody, and
Who do you have your eye on?
I got my eye on T.J. Hawkinson, the Hawk guy.
The hot guy.
TJ Broad.
T.J. Hawkins. But I figured, this late in the draft, the top tight ends are probably already gone, which they are. I'm not worried about it. I have a solid core lineup right now. So what I need right now, in my opinion, is depth at either running back or wide receiver. I'm going to go running back in the situation. And this is a guy that I'm hoping can actually come into the league and not have any injuries on him, because ever since he got drafted, he's had an injury tag. He didn't even start OTAs or anything because he was already injured coming out of college. So I'm going Deontay Foreman from Houston. I think he's going to really shine this year. I think if he can be healthy, he's going to shock a lot of people this year.
Yeah. And when he's healthy, he runs really hard.
Yeah,
I just hope he can be healthy. I mean, he's a third-year player, right?
Well, basically a one-year player.
Yeah.
He hasn't played. Yeah. I mean, all last season he didn't play. And
You took Foreman over Lamar Miller?
I did.
Wow.
Because I've never been sold on Lamar Miller. They drafted
healthy.
Foreman.
He can take that number 1 role.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. And he
Remember
was a Doak Walker Award winner.
Didn't we make a bet last year with Foreman and Miller?
Yeah, before he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, there's something there. and I will say the other thing, that Achilles injury is a hard injury to come back from.
And but I like what they did though. They took their time with him.
Yes,
they didn't rush him back. They're not interested in him getting re-injured again.
Because
So
he could have come back last year.
Yeah, and
but they held him out the rest of the year.
They kept saying like, all right, well he'll play when he's ready. He'll play when he's ready, and they just, hey man, we're not ready. So this year I'm banking on him being ready. And for my 4th running back, that's not a bad risk to take.
Yeah.
All right, it's on me, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, man.
Jared Goff.
I mean, I really want to go receiver, but there is nobody out here that I would even consider in the 8th round. I mean, you got a whole bunch of rookies coming up. I'm scrolling down. There's nobody I like. So I think this is a good time for me to take a quarterback. And for some reason, man, they got Drew Brees way down here.
And maybe that's why I picked Goff, because I couldn't find Drew Brees on this list.
He's behind Cousins. He's behind Lamar Jackson. There's no way.
And if I knew that he was that far down, I wouldn't even went quarterback in this situation.
Well, I was going to go. You got to play it.
I was going to go with Tevin Coleman and Mark Ingram back to back.
Because with something like that, you got to know your league. You got to know. All right, these guys, they're low. You got to know your league. And in this situation, we don't really know these people, but we can see their rankings kind of. You know, they veer from the rankings a little bit, but not much. Yeah. So who you thinking here, Dan?
I'm definitely going to take Breeze, and this app has Mitchell Trubisky really high, and I'm a big Mitchell Trubisky fan.
Yeah.
I'm going to be targeting him in the drafts coming up. I think I'll be snagging him really late, but 8th round, Breeze is a no-brainer for me.
Yeah. Once the ADPs kind of get out there a little bit better, more people are doing mock drafts, everything like that, Breeze is going to rise.
Yeah. I think somewhere in the 6, 7, 8 range is where you'll probably see him go. Because if you think about it, if you're going to be snagging, Mahomes, Rodgers, Luck in the 4th, 5th round, I think,
or
Breeze
the 3rd for some people.
Yeah, I hope because
I mean, it's going to happen. Somebody's going to pick one of those quarterbacks in the 3rd round because they just don't want anybody else to have them.
Well, in our draft, they're going 1st, 2nd round sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they're going their first pick. They want Aaron Rodgers. They want the number 1 quarterback. It's just whatever their preference is. But yeah, if you can get Drew Brees at that, that's a complete victory. A lot of
people validate that on the fact of, the quarterback scores the most points.
But not every week.
Yes, they do. They score the most points. But here's the other thing. So does every other quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you got to understand. Like, tight end scores the least amount of points. So does every other tight end. That's why Travis Kelce is so special. And Gronk used to be so special because they scored wide receiver points.
Yeah.
So you got to understand that, quarterback does score the most amount of points, but so does every other quarterback.
Yeah, like the difference between like the number 7, 8 quarterback and the number 15, 16 was just like a few points per game on a weekly basis. So
Absolutely.
So your number 7 or 8 would be like 21, 22, where your 15, 16 was like 19.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a difference.
Yeah.
So Eric Ebron really intrigues me, but with how it's been going in my draft, with being so weak at receiver, I'm not going to go Ebron here.
Ebron was your number 1 guy.
I'm not going to go Ebron just because there's a guy that was in my top 10 that I could probably get in the 14th round here, and that would be Jared Cook.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look at receivers, and I have Anthony Miller. I really like Anthony Miller, but I don't like him in this spot. He doesn't have – his ceiling is a lot lower than some of these guys. You have Robbie Anderson, who has Sam Darnold throwing him the ball, so it's kind of, he's the number 1 receiver there. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take. It's a little bit of a reach, but I'm gonna take a flyer, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take Paris Campbell from the Indianapolis Colts. I really think that he could finish with the most touchdowns in that system.
Right before me, man.
Thanks, Kender. I appreciate
Sorry.
it.
You want a David Montgomery.
Sterling Shepard just went off.
Oh, wow.
And that's who I was looking at. I'm like,
Yeah, you need that
okay,
solid.
Sorry, Tyler. I didn't mean to cut you off. Man. Go ahead.
I think Paris Campbell could finish as the guy that would have the most touchdowns on the Colts. T.Y. Hilton probably have the most yards, but I really like Paris Campbell with Andrew Luck throwing him the ball.
Yeah, Paris Campbell fell into probably the best situation, in my opinion, compared to any other rookie wide receiver that came out. Either between him or Hardman for the Chiefs. He is going to get opportunities, and I think he'll be solid this year.
With having the solid core at running back, with the 4 running backs I have with Alvin Kamara, David Johnson, Sonny Michel, and Tevin Coleman, I do not mind having DJ Moore, Jarvis, Tyler Lockett, and Paris Campbell as my wide receivers.
All I know is my receivers are not good. But, well, Mike has to make one more pick. I know he's thinking because he wanted Sterling Shepard, and
that really threw me off because
there's
I
no
have,
other receivers out there.
I have 3 running backs. I have 2 receivers. I have my tight end. I have my quarterback already. I really wanted Sterling Shepard because I think he can be a very valuable late round pick.
He's the number 1.
He's the number 1. Like, really, when it comes to receiver, he's really all there is.
He had Golden Tate signed there.
Yeah. But it's Tate's first year, and Shepard has that chemistry.
Shepard's really talented, man. Like he's a good wide receiver.
Well, even when he was the number 1 last year, he still wasn't the number 1 Shepard in New York.
But
I'm being serious. Russell Shepard.
But
had more fantasy points than Sterling Shepard.
No way.
And when Odell was out, because Sterling Shepard got double teamed.
Okay, so but there's also Golden Tate there, where you're not going to be able to double team Sterling Shepard like that with another talent like Golden Tate there. I just like him as my number 3 wide receiver. I don't like him much more than that. I really don't like him as my number 3. I wish he could be my number 4, but I held off on wide receiver so long.
I'll be honest, I don't like any wide receiver with Eli Manning throwing him the football unless it's
true.
Saquon.
That's true. I'll tell you who I'd go here. You got DK Metcalf, Miller, you got AJ Brown. I don't really like the rookies to be my number 3. I like Robbie Anderson. I don't really like the quarterback that's thrown to him, but Robbie Anderson, he can do big things. He can put up big numbers at certain times, and I like him. I was high on him last year. He didn't produce like I thought he was going to, but yeah, for my number 3 wide receiver, I like Anderson.
Well, him being your number 3 wide receiver, he's the number 1 receiver in New York, and with the addition of Le'Veon Bell and Sam Darnold having his second year with Adam Gase being the new head coach, we don't know. I mean, his ceiling could be higher than we're all thinking, and snagging him in the 8th round could be a steal because he could finish in the top 15 of receivers.
Yeah. He has the talent to do it. He's done it before.
He's fast. He's tall. I mean, he has great hands.
Yeah.
He's a good receiver.
I getting him as my 3rd wide receiver, I would love to see him do big things. So, to break it all down, let's start with me because I'm number 2 here. So I got Ezekiel Elliott, Josh Jacobs, and Miles Sanders as my running backs. I got
Adam. You went 2 rookies, man. That's risky.
Yeah,
man.
That
you went 2 risky
with the early quarterback.
I didn't quite look at, and if I would have looked at it like that, I would have probably waited and taken Jordan Howard instead of Miles Sanders. Yeah, I did not look at the 2 rookies, and I don't normally do that. We're still fresh in the mock drafting era right now for the 2019 season. So, wide receiver Adam Thielen, Will Fuller, Robbie Anderson. I got Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback and Travis Kelce as my tight end. The reason why I'm kind of satisfied with this, I'm not 100% happy with this. I like to be more solid to running back, and all you guys know that. But I do like the idea of a possible number 1 running back, a possible top 3 receiver, a possible number 1 tight end, and a possible number 1 quarterback. So that's why I like it.
Yeah, that's kind of risky though with the 2 rookie running backs.
Yeah, I don't like that now that I look at it. I do like Josh Jacobs.
Yeah,
just because of the injury to Crowell and all that.
Josh Jacobs is going to be a workhorse, I believe.
Yeah, I hope so.
I like Josh Jacobs as well, but there were other running backs out there that you probably could have
got. He would
not in the, what did I get him? 4th round? Not in the 4th round.
It would be Tariq Cohen or my boy Damian Williams. Could have snagged my boy Damian.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not as high on Damian Williams as you are. So Tyler, explain your draft here.
I basically only went running backs and wide receivers, which most of my drafts usually I don't draft. Every time we do like QB rankings and everything, my QB rankings are a little skewed because I never look at drafting a QB till 11 and below, just because, like you said, quarterbacks score the most.
Normally, I'm the same way, but if you give me my number 1 quarterback in the 5th round, I had no choice but to take him.
So I have Alvin Kamara, David Johnson, Sony Michel, Tevin Coleman. And then for my wide receivers, I have DJ Moore, Jarvis Landry, Tyler Lockett, Paris Campbell. So my receivers are all just really fast receivers, got good hands. They're more possession receivers.
No, they're not. They're not. And the reason why I say that is because Tyler Lockett is a burner who also returns punts. And then you got Paris Campbell, who's also a burner that also returns punts. These guys are more athletes than just possession. They can do everything out there for you. I honestly, looking at your wide receivers, you have probably the best wide receivers for the positions that they're at, like where you got them.
Where you took them.
Where you took them. I mean, to get Jarvis Landry after you got DJ Moore, that's kind of shocking to me, and that's a number one wide receiver to me in this league. So for you to get, that's like probably your only possession wide receiver. Everybody else is a big play wide receiver to me.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like I said, they all have speed. They're all burners, and what I mean by possession is they don't drop the ball as much. And I'm not meaning they just catch it and fall to the ground. I mean they have really good hands.
That's what possession wide receiver. You tell me that, I'm going to think that.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to explain. I mean they have really good hands. They don't drop the ball. You're not going to have as many drop passes with them. So.
Well, that makes sense.
Why didn't you say that?
God.
All right, Dan, go ahead and break down your draft.
Especially after I said all that stuff.
So, 4 of my first 5 were running backs.
Yeah.
So I was Melvin Gordon, Connor Fournette, Damian Williams, and Zach Ertz as my tight end. Oh my God, receivers are Tyler Boyd and Alshon Jeffrey. That's just disgusting.
Dude, you are.
Drew Brees as my quarterback.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like just kind of reading like just where analysts have Damian Williams. They're just all over the map with him. Like,
yeah.
I feel like he is he's going to be a type of player where he'll go either the 5th round, maybe even earlier, where compared to some might even have him like 7th, 8th round because they're not that high on him. I'm going to be targeting him heavily. I like my running backs, but there's no balance of the wide receivers. I can't have.
After seeing your wide receivers, there is no chance that you'll ever see me wait until the 6th round.
Yeah,
to pick a wide receiver. After
you
seeing
can't,
that,
you can't do that. No,
seriously,
it's about learning a lesson.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I could have instead of Fournette in the 3rd, I was thinking about T.Y. Hilton. That was probably what the receiver I would have went if I would have went receiver, and that's probably what I should have done. If I would have had T.Y. Hilton over Leonard Fournette, I would be a little more comfortable with my draft.
Yeah, because, I mean, Tyler Boyd, when he was healthy last year, he was doing a great job, and I would like him as a number 2, maybe a flex. Having T.Y. Hilton there instead of Leonard Fournette with your running backs then being Melvin Gordon, James Conner, and Damian Williams, I still think if you kept Leonard Fournette and drafted Allen Robinson or Mike Williams instead of Damian Williams, you would have looked a lot better too. Because I really think that on the backside, you could have gotten Damian Williams instead of Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, and that's it's going to be tough. Like he's going to be one of the guys he's like, I don't want to say controversial, but like one of those guys that's everyone's going to have its own opinion about it. He's going to fall in anywhere from round 5 to 10 probably.
Yeah.
Well, who was it last year when we were like, because as soon as Kareem Hunt was out for the Chiefs,
Spencer Ware.
We had Spencer Ware and we had Damian Williams, and we were always debating on who's going to get the carries, who's going to be the guy in Kansas City. I think they're both going to be the guy this year.
Spencer Ware's a Colt now.
Yeah, Spencer Ware's a Colt. Okay, they have Chard. I don't even know how to say his name.
Hyde.
They have Hyde and they have the new.
Right. Okay, so they got Carlos Hyde, who they brought in for a reason, and then they got Damian Williams. So between those, I think they're going to completely split it right down the middle.
Yeah.
And they're going to use the rookie as more of a third down back option.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just a risky pick, especially when you had 3 top running backs already. You know what I mean? You definitely could have picked up a good wide receiver right there. You really dropped the ball on that.
Well,
all right. So
I shouldn't have waited that long for a receiver. Yeah. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, you just
couldn't pass up on your boy.
That's my boy, man.
Yeah, and that is tough. You heard it here. Do not wait till the 6th round to pick up a tight end, a wide receiver. My bad.
Yeah.
All right, so Phil, break down yours real fast.
All right, so somehow Todd Gurley fell to me in my first pick at number 12, and then I went Julio. So those are my first 2 picks. And next I have T.Y. Hilton, and then I got Devontae Freeman, which I think was a pretty good pick in the 4th round there. Accidentally picked Jared Goff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then my last 2 running backs are Mark Ingram and Deontay Foreman, and I picked up Julian Edelman as my other wide receiver.
All right, so
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
If we had to choose a winner in this draft right now, I'm choosing Phil, man, because I love his running backs, I love his receivers. He could have did better at the quarterback. If you wouldn't have did the Jared Goff, you'd have been a clear winner. Because like your number 3 running back is Mark Ingram, right?
Yeah.
Like that's awesome to me, man. Like because Devonta Freeman, I already told you, like he might be up in my top 10 now. You know, with that offensive line and how great they are, Matt Ryan, Julio, like I love your draft. Like your draft is my favorite.
I think the reason why Devontae Freeman wasn't higher on my running backs is because I thought his injury was a lot worse than it was. After looking it up and it was just like a groin injury, I said, okay, what's gonna prevent him from doing what he used to do in the last couple of years? And especially with the addition with the offensive line that you brought to my attention, I said, okay, well that's a kind of a no-brainer there for that pick in that round.
And Julian Edelman is your 3rd wide receiver. You got T.Y. Hilton, who can finish as a number 1. You got Julio Jones, who can finish as a number 1. I like this draft, and as long as you switch out Jared Goff or Drew Brees,
right? And honestly, but right there, I wouldn't even pick
at that point with especially with the way that this draft setup was.
I would have went.
Drew Brees could have been a few rounds later, and you could have had Tevin Coleman as well as Mark Ingram.
Yeah, and where I went with Edelman is probably where I would have went with Drew Brees.
Yeah. And so, like I said, I like your draft. I think everything kind of fell to you perfectly, which normally doesn't happen at the number 12 spot.
Right.
So I think everything kind of fell right there in your lap. I really like it. As long as everything with
Gurley goes right.
Gurley kind of pans out in the better, you know. Yeah. Anybody else got anything? Who do you think won this one, Tyler?
I like Phil's, but I like yours. Yours slightly takes it out. You got Zeke, and I really like Josh Jacobs this year, especially with Crowell going down. Adam Thielen can finish as a top 3, top 5. Travis Kelce could finish as the number 1 or number 2. And I really like Aaron Rodgers this year. You have top guys at every position breakdown.
Yeah. I do. I kind of like that strategy as to, hey, you're not going to be weak at your number 1. You know, your number 1 receiver is not going to be weak. Your number 1 running back's not going to be weak. You're just going to be hurting at your number 2 spots, you know, a little bit. I like that strategy a little bit. What about you, Dan? Who do you like?
I'm kind of like just looking at everyone's. I just wish I would have took T.Y. Hilton in the 3rd, and I would have said I dominated you, trash cans. But yeah. I mean, it's a. I don't know, man. I kind of like.
Come on, today, Junior.
I just want to say me so bad, but I just hate my number 1 receiver being Tyler Boyd. I really do.
I hate your draft.
I think I would go. I think I'd go you.
All right, never mind. Let's cut this up.
I'll go Mike.
All right.
Yeah. And it's slightly, just for I don't know.
And it's weird because that's not normally the strategy. That's not normally the strategy that I take in a draft. You know, and it's just something that's the way that it fell to me. You know, when it fell to me and I get to my number 2 pick and I'm like, I really don't like the running backs. I like this wide receiver better. And then Dan talked me into Travis Kelce, which I really like that pick at the number 3. And it comes back and I don't really like much there. And like, so it's just kind of the way that it fell to me. And then, you know, it took me off my strategy of piling up on running backs and put me into the strategy of, let me see if I can get a number 1, you know, a number 1 wide receiver, number 1 tight end, number 1 quarterback, number 1 running back. you know, and heck, at the end of the draft, I might go defense a little bit earlier than I normally would, and kicker a little bit earlier than I normally would. Just so, hey, at the end of the year, can I have the number one at every position? You know, which is impossible, but it's something that I would have probably tried to shoot for, you know. Anything else? You guys got anything?
Bill, who was your favorite?
Our first mock draft?
I was kind of looking at it, man.
Oh, I didn't think
it's fine, man.
You
were going on there for a while about
I was.
your you know, your
Talking
picks
about
and stuff
myself.
because this is what you like to do. But I just looking at the draft, I can't believe how many wide receivers the number 10 drafter picked.
He got so many.
I mean, his first 5 picks were all wide receivers. He had Juju, Mike Evans, Robert Woods, Calvin Ridley, and Allen Robinson.
He's hoping Christian
stacked.
Kirk. Like, he might never play Christian Kirk.
He might not even play Allen Robinson.
He saw Dan and Tyler draft and was like, well, I could trade these guys up.
Yeah.
That's probably what we're going to do.
I mean, I'm sorry, I kind of got sidetracked looking at it because I was like, who's his running backs?
I like my wide receiver. I actually like my wide receivers that fell to me.
Yeah, and Tyler, actually, like, honestly, to me, I like your draft the best to me because I like your running backs you got and where you got them at. I mean, you got Tevin Coleman, Sony Michel, David Johnson, and Alvin Kamara. Those are solid running backs to have, especially with the wide receivers that you picked up. I mean, with DJ Moore, his only question mark is Cam Newton's shoulder okay?
Yeah.
And I think he'll be decent enough to get him the ball. And then if he's not, Will Greer's there. So they're kind of prepared.
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry. After that, that's the steal pick to me. And then Tyler Lockett, who is a touchdown guy, and Paris Campbell, who could be very explosive. I like it. I do. But I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go me.
No lie, if in this 9th round, if it came back to me, there's only one guy that could probably take a tight end. I'd probably take Eric Ebron here in this 9th.
Yeah, and if you didn't, I was going to take him because that's the best available there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's a later podcast.
Yeah, it's definitely a later podcast.
Right, so we'll get back to it next week, and we'll do another.
We're going to do a mock draft, or Dan was talking about, maybe your top 3 avoids at each position and your top 3 targets at each position. Okay. So it's either going to be a mock draft or your avoids and targets at each position.
Okay.
All right. Well, we appreciate all the support. We appreciate everybody listening. Tune in next week.
Make sure you download Draft if you haven't and use promo code OTFantasy. Deposit a minimum of $10 and you'll get a $3 entry fee into a contest.
Slang!